Myself, Dr. Rana, Principal, Sukhdev Women Institute of Education, Science and Technology. I am here to deliver my lecture on macro teaching. As you know, that macro teaching is an innovation in teacher education, and for going on this concept, I would like to go in the depth of this word, macro teaching, as it is candid that it is made from two separate words, micro and teaching. Macro are small, scaled down, and teaching the interaction between teacher and taught. Whence the term came into existence, the question arises here. Sure, macro teaching, the term is originated by Dwight Allen in 1963. He was in Stanford University, and in India the word macro teaching was introduced by D.D. Tiwari of Central Pedagogical Institute, Allahabad. And since then, the term is used in teacher education. Now, macro teaching, as I said earlier, that it is made from two separate words, macro and teaching. Sure, it means the teaching which is conducted in a small group, in a small size, in a small time period. It is a scale down of size, time and content also. Allen, Dwight and E.V.A.W. define macro teaching. He said macro teaching is defined as a system of controlled practice that makes it possible to concentrate on a specified teaching behavior and to practices teaching under controlled situation. He told controlled situation. Actually, it is done in a controlled situation. Bush also defined the meaning of macro teaching. He said macro teaching is a teacher education technique which allows teachers to apply clearly defined teaching skills to carefully prepared lessons in a planned series of 5 to 10 minutes, which encounter with a small group of real students, often with an opportunity to observe the result of video tape. Now, the objectives. Macro teaching has certain objectives. The first one is to develop the skill. It emphasizes not on the content but on the specific skill which is required to be a good teacher. Next objectives, desired behavioral changes. It is also very important part of macro teaching because skill is aimed to get behavioral changes, desired behavioral changes. What kind of behavior we want to change in teacher, it emphasizes on this. The third one, self-evaluation. The teacher should also evaluate him herself. That is he following the aims, the skill, the components, the steps of micro teaching or not. After getting feedback, he go ahead. If he fails, he reply, and then until and unless he gets success on the particular skill. The third one is very important, and perfection in activities. The teacher or the trainee, until and unless he brings desired behavioral changes, he repeated it. And after getting perfection in the expected desired changes, it is supposed to be a skill, particular. Now, the steps, I would like to discuss on the steps also. So, in macro teaching there are various steps. The first one is defining the skill. First of all, the pupil teacher has to define the skill, in what skill he's going to develop, because there are various skills of teaching. A teacher has to be equipped with various skills for his good teaching. But in macro teaching, he has to take a specific skill which has to be defined first. The next step is presentation by the expert or the teacher. In macro teaching, it is very important to present, to explain, to define, to demonstrate the skill and the steps and the components also, which would be followed by the pupil teacher or the trainees. The third one is preparation of macro lesson plans. After demonstration by the competent teacher or the teacher educator, the subject I mean the pupil teacher who are pursuing would have to prepare the lesson plan. Before it, the groups, the classes has to be distributed in a small group, 5, 6 pupil teachers in each group. The next step is evaluation. When after preparing the lesson plan, the pupil teacher are asked to teach, which should be observed by the teacher educator, and the feedback will be given. If it is okay, then that's okay. If it needs some improvement, the teacher educator ask him to replan, to reteach and re-evaluate until and unless the perfection is achieved. Here it is also important to know that how many pupil teachers are there in a group. What is the time prescribed for that? Who are the students? Who are the supervisors? What is the total time and what is the transaction of the time? So there are 5 to 6 pupil teachers in a group, and the time period is 5 to 6 minutes. The teacher has to perform as a student and the teacher as well. So there are 5-6 pupil teachers, and time is prescribed 5 to 6 minutes. Students is also scaled down to 5 and 6, and the teacher or from the pupil teacher, one is deputed as a supervisor. The total time allocated for micro teaching is 36 minutes. Teaching 6 minutes, feedback 6 minutes, replan 12 minutes, reteach 6 minutes, and re-feedback 6 minutes until we get perfection. Next one. Now it is also very important that in what cycle the macro teaching works. It makes cycle. Teach, evaluation, observation, evaluation, in which feedback is given. Next, replan. The pupil teacher make plan again, then reteach and re-feedback. So it goes in a cycle. There are some points what should be kept in mind while macro teaching. Precautions should be followed there. If you get the good result in macro teaching and in finding expected behavioral change, so the environment should be in controlled environment, like practical, because everything is very important in this skill. Components are very important. And the second one, observation and feedback. The observation of the lesson should be done by the expert. As expert, the supervisor classroom situation when he teach in classroom. And the third one is focus should be done on the skill specific. The content is not very important in particularly micro teaching, but the skill development. The particular skill should be focused on micro teaching. So, macro teaching, in conclusion, macro teaching is an innovation which focuses on some components which are very, very important to follow, and if the pupil teacher follow this, he gets perfection.